Get a deeper connection with the Cougars of BYU sports.
God gives us a gift, and we use that gift until he takes it away.
Deep Blue.
Just sitting down afterward and being really tired and thinking like, wow, I just won the U.S. championship.
This is Deep Blue. Here's your host, Jason Shepard.
Thanks for tuning in for a new episode of Deep Blue. This is the show where we get to know the person behind the number that you see on the field or the court. These are the true stories of BYU athletes from their own mouths. And my guest today, happy to have in BYU men's volleyball's Trent Moser. Trent, thanks for taking a few minutes.
Yeah, of course.
So let's start here. How many times a day do you hear your name pronounced Moser?
Probably every day, honestly. Literally every day.
That's kind of what I thought. If somebody addressed you, if you had 100 different people addressing you by name, how many of the 100 people do you think would say Moser?
Probably 80, maybe a little more. I hear it most of the time. It's just Moser. I'm like, oh, like, is it Moser? I'm like, nah, it's Moser. But
so
yeah,
you do correct them?
Well, if they ask. If
like, not, but you're not one of the ones like, no, it's Moser.
Yeah, I'm not going to get mad at you for calling me Moser. It's like, whatever.
I just assumed that was probably something you've dealt with and your family's dealt with your entire life.
Yeah, probably.
So you're pretty much used to it.
Yeah.
So let's start here, and then we'll go back. You were selected to the 2023 FIVB Men's Under-21 World Championship roster, and you spent the summer traveling. There's so many things that I want to touch on with this. I want to know what your reaction was when you found out that you were part of this team.
So it kind of all started back in the first semester of my freshman year, so last September. Or no, that summer. So I wasn't even on the roster at the start. Like, they had all the outsides, and they needed a right side. So I went to a NTDP camp. So it was like the USA Volleyball National Team Development Program camp. So I went to that as an outside. And then the last day of the camp, the coaches were like, yo, like, the U21 team, they would need, they're looking for another right side because the other guy couldn't go. So like if you want to try it, it could be open for, it's not going to be like official, I can make the team obviously for it. But if you want to go try it, they probably will look for you. So okay, cool. So I tried opposite one day at the training, and I get an email a few weeks later, and I got invited to play with the team. So then I go play with the team, and then there was 21 there, and then I made the 12 roster that went to Cuba the first time, and then from that team, they just invited those 12 guys back for the next training.
How much confidence do you gain from being welcomed into something like that?
I mean, I was really happy because, obviously I was a little upset, as being one of the top dudes in my class, I just didn't make it. I was like, oh, that's kind of depressing, I guess. But then oh, you have this opportunity to, if you want to. I was like, okay, so I took that in a heartbeat. So after making the team and getting to know those guys a little more, and it boosted my confidence a lot, honestly, coming into this my freshman year last year.
What was the competition like?
I mean, it's the top 20 guys in my age in the country, so it's going to be great volleyball. I mean, I played against all those guys in club, growing up in high school and stuff, so it was really fun to finally get together as a big group of 20 and just play with those guys instead of being against each other.
Well, and you mentioned that you had an opportunity to go to Cuba and some other places. Tell everybody where you got to travel, and you were telling me before we started the show that you really gained a greater appreciation for what you have here in the United States.
Yeah, so even before I went to Cuba the first time, I didn't really recognize, because I've never been out of the country before.
Me either.
I never realized how great it is here. Some people look down on it, whatever, complain, and I'm when I hear that, I'm just thinking to myself, I'm they have no idea, honestly, because being in Cuba, the first trip, our hotel was in the slums. You walk outside, you go 2 streets to the right, and there's little kids moving a metal sheet out of a hole in the wall where they live. And then I've lived in a great home, honestly, my whole life. I've just been raised pretty well, and I wonder what made me be here, what I did before in my the spiritual word, you could say, I guess. What I did to become
why
American.
You were so blessed.
Yeah, pretty much. But in Bulgaria was probably the nicest place I went to. So I went to Cuba in September last year, and I went again in June. Came back for 2 weeks in America, then went back to Anaheim to train again, went to Bulgaria. Then from Bulgaria, went to Bahrain. So I think Bulgaria was probably the nicest place of all of them to be. But even the facility in Bulgaria, probably one of the nicest I've been in. But in Bahrain, the air conditioning didn't work sometimes. It's just super hot, and so I don't know. It's just having the field house and having the club facilities I had in Arizona, and even my high school facility. It's just go back to Cuba, like I was saying before the show. Like there was like in the training, the ground's all torn up. Like there's a hole in the ground. Like if you step here, you might roll your ankle, break your leg, whatever. Like so, I mean, I like having no holes in our field house.
Yeah,
it's a lot nicer.
Even ground.
Exactly.
Novel concept, right? All right. So since you're somebody who has never, been out of the United States, and now you've certainly traveled a lot within the U.S., but what was that experience like? The actual traveling and being able to experience these new cultures in these new places.
I honestly expected it to be a little better than it actually was. Like we get there, there's no internet, obviously. The air conditioning doesn't work. The airport in Cuba, like the lights are off. Like the lights don't really work, and it's just super humid, hot, and we can't really see anything. We have no clue where to go. And we get through, our bags come up, they're all torn up. Like we're like, all right, cool, whatever. And then we get to we land in it's like the middle of the jungle. It's 2 a.m. and we have practice the next morning at 8, and we're just like, oh geez. And so we get to the hotel, we get the styrofoam box of this food that was cooked about 6 hours before, I think, so they said. And it was like just this cold, like purple looking rice, tasted like metal. The chicken's like half raw, like this stale piece of bread. It's just, yeah, it was just tough.
I would imagine, as difficult as that was, how much of a bonding experience was it for you guys to all go through that together?
Oh, it was great because like these guys, like before I met them, like really met them, playing with them, like a lot of us didn't really get along with each other that well just because we were opponents.
Yeah, you were competitors.
Yeah, but like getting there and like being in a foreign country, communist country, the 12 of us were just like, I mean, none of these guys really like us. Like we just have us 12. Like we can't
you got to stick together,
yeah,
right?
So the Wi-Fi in our hotel actually didn't work, but the one about a block over worked. And so when we had to go get Wi-Fi, we'd go across the street, go to the other building, and like the Cubans would just like look at us, and like some would be like, oh, Americans. We're like, all right, like whatever. So like we're kind of just had to ignore them, and it was nice to get along with those guys too. So
all right, so you get back in your free time. What do you like to do? Because look, I realize there are some athletes who, whatever their particular sport is, that is all. I mean, it encompasses everything they do. Even when they're not practicing, they're watching film, or they're doing. They don't have time, or they don't allow time for other things.
Yeah.
What do you do in your free time? Do you give yourself free time away from volleyball?
I do. I mean, I find myself every day playing volleyball pretty much, or doing something volleyball related. Like even in my free time, like I'll watch like shows, whatever. But like I'll even just open up our volumetrics and watch our games back from before in our practices, and like. Even this thing started like my sophomore year of high school. Like, we had this like live streaming app my dad works for, and they're like, you could record it and then press a button, it records the last 15 seconds. I had every play in every single game, so I could just go back and watch the games and figure out what I need to do better. And so I do that. But then like outside of volleyball, like I like to play video games. I do it with my teammates a lot, and then like I like to just hang out. Like, so like we play games like ping pong and pool and stuff. Yeah. So it's fun.
How are you one of the better players at these?
I'm learning pool. I'm kind of bad. Video games I've played video games my whole life.
Sure.
What
is your console of choice?
Xbox.
Okay.
Xbox.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Any particular game that your go-to?
I'm a little bit of a Rocket League guy. My teammates got back into Fortnite a few weeks ago, but yeah.
You had mentioned that growing up in Arizona. Tell me about your family growing up and really where you came from.
Okay, so my mom's the oldest of her family, and so her parents, my grandparents, they had this lot right here, and they owned this lot too. There's nothing on it, and so once my dad and my mom got married, my grandpa owns a construction business. They just built onto that house and that lot.
And so, that's in Gilbert?
Yes,
in Gilbert, Arizona. Yep.
And so basically my whole life, it's just been my grandparents' house, then a little connecting hallway to my house.
Oh, a hallway connects them.
So it's like the house, a little hallway in our house. It's like we live on like 2 acres, I think.
Yeah.
Little land for our family. And so then my older sister, so my parents got married, I think, 97. And then my older sister is 25 could be wrong. Sorry, Tristan. But she
former Cougar.
Indeed. So my older sister, she's like 24, 25. And my older brother's 21. I'm 19. I turned 20 in October. Then my older brother's 22. Correction. Sorry, Trace. Gosh. But then my younger brother's 17 and my little sister's 12. So,
did you get along as siblings growing up?
I did. It's like I feel like me and my younger brother now probably have a really good connection. I have a good connection with all my siblings, but like me and my little brother, like we're very competitive with each other, and like shockingly, we've never got like into an actual fight. Like people ask me, like, "Have you gotten in a fight with him?" I'm like, no, like we've never like punched each other once ever. I think it's pretty surprising too. But like me and my older brother were really close in high school too, just because I was with him and like he had to like look out for me a little bit. Played on the same team with him. And
you actually got to play with two of your brothers, right?
Yeah. So my older brother was a senior when I was a freshman, and he was a setter for varsity. I was a freshman on varsity, and we just played together. And then my senior year, I kind of took that role my older brother took with me, and my little brother was a freshman, or they're outside, so we're the two outsides for our varsity team my senior year while he's a freshman. It was really fun to get to play with both of them because, like, they didn't get to play with each other, obviously, but it's nice being the one that got to play with both of them and kind of just learn more about them in that aspect of life, too.
So was it always volleyball? Because you're talking about, your siblings.
Yeah.
Was any other sport ever in the cards, or was it always going to be volleyball?
So my mom played at ASU.
Yep.
I think I mentioned that before. So she always wanted us to play volleyball. So my sister did dance. My mom got her to play volleyball. Now my sister thanks my mom for volleyball.
Yeah.
I think my older brother played football a little bit, but then kind of just stayed at volleyball. I played basketball up until my junior year of high school, and I was like, I have better opportunities in volleyball, so I will quit basketball and just pursue volleyball. Which my mom got me to play volleyball when I was little. I'm pretty sure I was mad. I was like, Mom, I'm not playing. It's a girl sport. I'm not going to play, Mom. Like, this is dumb. But now I'm really grateful for my mom. I love her to death. Like, appreciate it, Mom. But then my younger brother, he just played volleyball. He tried football for 1 year and didn't like it and just plays volleyball now.
Okay, I want to ask you on a get to know you video that BYU Volleyball put out when your freshman year. You said your family had 28 dogs at one point. Is that accurate?
Yeah, something. I think it's 28.
28 dogs.
I know it's in the high 20s. Is what we had.
So my question is, did you just normally accumulate that many? Was it like a dog rescue business?
No.
Like you just had 28 dogs.
So we have golden retrievers and English golden retrievers, and so my grandma and my mom breed them.
Oh, okay.
So we had just two dogs were pregnant at the same time, had this litters at the same time, and they just both happened to be really, really large litters of puppies. So like I think I was probably like 13, 14 at the time, and so like me and my siblings had a blast, just little kids playing with
Puppies
a bunch of
everywhere?
20 puppies outside. It was a great time, but
okay.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming with 28 dogs at one time, you've got to be a dog person. Will you ever have a dog of your own when you get your own family?
Yeah. So I want.
Will you have 28?
I will not. Okay. I will have like a maximum 2. I kind of just want one boy dog because we have this dog named Cody. He's like, it's really hard. It's hard to take him out for walks in Arizona in the summer. So I'd wake up in the morning this summer and take him out for a walk. But so like he's our English golden retriever. He's our only boy we have. And so I want either a pure golden retriever or English golden retriever. English golden retrievers are just white golden retrievers. So, but yeah.
Wow, 28 dogs. I can't even imagine feeding 28 dogs and keeping 28 dogs clean and just watch. That is pretty remarkable. But you said you had some land though. You had area to be able to have these dogs.
And so we have like other animals. We have like chickens and sheep and some tortoises, but like our one side of the yard is just kind of just grass, and we had like have like one fenced off area for the puppies, another fenced off for the big dogs, so they can get inside to the air conditioning when it's all hot. And so yeah, we have like it's a lot of work for sure. Like we had to put up these fences and make sure the yard's clean, and all like the dog poop that's around the yard after like a day. Honestly, with 28 dogs is ridiculous. So, but I mean, it was definitely a pain in the butt to take care of, but I mean, I wouldn't trade it for anything. I love where I grew up. So
in a lot of ways, like growing up, then you had, it was almost like you were kind of on a farm where you had animals to take care of. You talked about putting up fences. Did you enjoy it? And I guess you probably don't know anything else because that's what you had. But did you enjoy that?
It depends, honestly, because like if I wake up at 7 a.m. and it's like already 90 degrees, I'm like, I don't want to go outside, and it's gonna be really hot. It's gonna be like 115 a little bit, and I got to do the whole Saturday worth of work, and so it's like some days I'd be okay with it, but like some days I'd just be like, I'd try my best to stay inside, just staying out. But I mean, I think it definitely taught me how to work hard when I was young. My mom always said that to us, and she's like, you guys will thank us one day. And I'm like, now I'm like realizing how much it actually helped me in my life outside of volleyball too. It's
kind of crazy how all those little sayings and things that our parents tell us, eventually we realize, they were right. We don't want to admit it, but they were right. Yeah. I want to touch on volleyball in the greater Phoenix area, in the Valley. There are a lot of volleyball teams. Yeah. How much did that help you? Because it's so much part of the culture down there, and it is such a widespread sport down in the Phoenix area.
I mean, when I was younger, I started that when I was like, I think 12. I played on my brother's 14U team. So I was just a little kid. I'd just go serve and I'd be out of the game because I was just so young. But, I mean, when I was there was only a few clubs, let's say 4 or 5, like, named clubs. And now, like, you get to the tournaments and there's probably, like, 12, maybe a little more. And then all these teams have gotten more, like, as the clubs got more known, there's more kids that go to those clubs. So, like, there's probably only, like, 12, maybe 10 teams at the bigger clubs. And now there's, like, 20, almost pushing 30 clubs. And so there'd be, like divisions, you could say, like, at the tournaments. And was, like, 9, I think, when I was playing. And there's probably, like, closer to 12, 13 maybe. So it keeps growing. And then, like, in high school, like, we didn't have, like, a freshman team, but we had a JV team. But, like, I know, like, we only had, like, 30 kids try out my high school. But then, like, I know there's other high schools where there was, like, 80 kids try out, maybe a little more. And, like, they just had to cut all these kids because they don't have teams to put against other teams at the other schools. So I think once more schools have, like, more kids try out, I think the sport's going to grow even more in Arizona.
When you look back at that time, when did you realize that, number one, you were really, really good at this sport, but also that there was an opportunity to play well beyond just high school?
So I have a coach. He's actually at Merrimack College right now in Boston. His name was Ray Lewis, like the football player. But like he, when I think I started playing for him when I was 8th grade. Yeah. But he told me one day, he's like, I don't think you understand how good you could be. And, like, I never believed that I could be at the level I'm at now, honestly. Like, I was a shorter kid. Like, I think end of 7th grade, I was 5'5", 5'6". End of freshman year, I was 6'5". Like, I sprouted up.
Whoa.
Like, I was really, like, I grew up, I was, like, so much pain in my knees. It was bad. And so, like, towards, like, junior year, once I started, like, sophomore, junior year, I started getting, like, invited to USA camps, and, like, some coaches started talking to me. I was like, oh, like, I feel like I could actually, like, pursue volleyball, and I think I could make a name for myself, I guess. And so, like, I just decided to quit basketball, and I was like, I'll focus purely on volleyball. And once I did that, it just started clicking all together, and it was all going for me.
So how many years before you ultimately came to BYU did Tristan choose to come to BYU? Just a couple years. What, 2 years? 2-3 years?
Probably, I think.
So how much did that was that why you came to BYU? Was it always going to be BYU?
No.
Or because you had mentioned your mom played at Arizona State.
Yes.
Were the Sun Devils ever involved as a possibility?
No. So when I was a sophomore, when I started getting looked at by colleges, and, like, I don't want to, like, toot my own horn, but if on the day, I think it was June 15th of whatever year, like, that's the day that college could talk to me. And me being the little kid, being excited I am, like, all these college coaches want to talk to me. Like, I told them all, like, oh, I could talk this day. And so I literally had my entire day just filled with, like, talking to colleges. And I look back and I was like, I didn't realize I could just say, like, oh, I can't this day, I can talk this day. Like, It's not just going to go away. And so I talked to most schools, like, down towards the end of my recruiting, I think it was down to, like, Ohio State, Pepperdine, and Long Beach were the main, adding to BYU. But then I came here summer before my senior year for a camp, and I played at the camp, and I was like, I'd rather not. Financially too, like, it's a lot better here than it is in California. Yeah. So I was just like, I mean, this is the best place to be. And then after playing my freshman year, I don't think I'd loved it as much as anywhere else. So
somebody told me a story. You tell me if this is accurate.
Mm-hmm.
I was told that your recruiting was a little different because you wanted to play at BYU.
Mm-hmm.
BYU wanted you, but yet Coach Olmstead wasn't 100% sure if you were coming, and they're like, "Oh yeah, I'm coming." Like it was this a little bit of a subdued recruitment. Is that that an accurate statement?
A little bit. So I mean, like, I always had, like, I didn't commit until before my senior year, but, like, I was still open to everything, and, like, even before the camp, I was, like, still open to other schools, and then I played, and I was like, you know, like, since me and my dad are already here, it was like July. I was gonna come on my official visit in that September. I was like, can we just, like, an unofficial, just take me around the facilities, whatever? And they're like, yeah. So I did that, and I just told them then, I was like, I mean, I'd rather be here than anywhere else. So I committed then. So, I mean, I definitely could have waited until my official visit to commit and, like, wait. But, I mean, I figured I just should just be here. So.
All right, we'll take a quick break. We'll have more with Trent Moser when we return to Deep Blue on BYU Radio. Welcome back to Deep Blue. Jason Shepard with you, joined by Trent Moser from BYU Men's Volleyball. And Trent, you and I are having a nice conversation right now, but you were telling me that 10 years ago, you probably wouldn't be willing to do something like this. So
No,
you're a pretty shy kid,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So where did that? Any particular reason why, and how did you grow out of that?
I honestly I don't know, because like in like classes and throughout junior high and high school and like even in church I'd say no to talks, but like we'd like write a little like a creative writing paper. My teacher would be like, oh, like anyone to like present for like extra credit, whatever. I would sit down, put my head in the like in my
Not make eye
No, not at all.
contact.
I would look so like scared, and she would never call on me. And like one day she like asked me after class, she's like, I think it was Miss Daniels, my 8th grade English teacher. She was like, why don't you whenever like tell us about your story? I'm like, I'm just not going to. I'm not going to talk to you guys. So she's just like, okay, never asked me again. I don't know. My mom always said that's because of her side. She said she was always super shy too. But I think after like playing, like my teacher would ask me to like, you could play volleyball in front of a lot of people and you'd be fine. You could be like super excited to watch, but then like you can't just tell us about your little thing you wrote. Nope, couldn't do it. I just feel a lot more comfortable with like athletics than I do in school and other places like that too. So, I mean, I think after just becoming like growing up more, maturing more, and just I don't know. I think that helped a lot with just my being able to.
You
talk
did
to
tell me
people.
though that this was a social media post fairly recently that you had a teammate that had you dress up into something.
Yeah.
So tell everybody about this.
So we went. A few of us went to do like a little thrifting. First day of school outfit, whatever. So we all get a picture of like a stupid outfit to wear. I don't think we're actually wearing it. I don't think we could, but like he dressed me up in like I didn't tell you this. I have like a mullet wig. It's super like itchy from DI, and then I have like a cheetah woman's shirt on with a construction vest over it with like some like neon green pants, and I'm like, sick, dude. Like, appreciate it, man. And he was like saying like, yeah, Trent's a little shy guy. He's gotta stand out, have people talk to him. So I'm like, all right, cool, whatever. So yeah.
So I'm still trying to get past the mullet wig, and so that's quite the outfit, though. Any chance we would ever see that again?
Never. It will not happen.
Never. But are there pictures of this?
There will be on social media, yeah.
Okay.
And that probably like a week. I say on the first day of
So
school.
see, this is something that people can look forward to. There's no question
is,
about that.
yeah.
You can go find that on social media. How is your relationship with your teammates? How close of a group are you guys?
Oh, we're super close. Like coming here, I was kind of nervous. I was like, I don't have anyone else. Like I'm the only actual freshman coming in. I was like, I don't know really anyone. But then like getting here and like they accepted me really fast, and it was really nice because now I live with Noah, one of my teammates, and we always hang out together. Like after practice and stuff, we'll go like the sauna, whatever. We'll go get food together, and it's become great. Like they're like my family now. I love them to death.
You mentioned that you guys are super close,
Yeah.
and you felt immediately a part of things when you got here. I do want to take you back though to your senior year of high school. Your last year in high school was a bit of a down year for BYU volleyball.
Yeah.
As you're watching that, did you waver at all in terms of coming to BYU?
No, I was really excited to come here. Like because they were losing Davide at that time when I would get here. Like I kind of thought that I could like come in and help our team out a little bit, see what could happen. But I mean I was really excited to come here. I don't think one time a thought crossed like my head that I wanted to go to Long Beach or Pepper and other schools that recruited me. I didn't think it happened at all. Like I'm super glad I made my decision of coming here.
For the guys, though, that you are playing with that were part of that season, it sounds like that year was important, though, for the team and the program to move forward. Is that an accurate statement? And how have you seen that?
Yeah, I'd say because like in practice we know like people like last year like people look down on us like, oh, this team went whatever 8-17 I think it was this year before, like they're not gonna be anyone. They lost their best guy, like they're just throw them under the rug. They're not gonna be any good. And then we go play them and they'd be like, oh, never mind. Like they're like actually a problem. Like whatever. Like we upset UCI one of our first games, which is good. Like we're like unranked. Like we're like 14th, whatever. UCI's like 4th, and we beat them. Like oh, never mind. Like they could be something. And so like we kind of just had like in practice they'd be like, dude, like no one outside of this room and our parents maybe think that we're gonna be anything special. And it's like everyone you look on social media, like all like the pre-rankings, like BYU's like 17th out of like whatever 25. They're like, yeah, there gonna be no one. And then we had no returning All-Americans, and then I think we're the only returning team in the top 10 that had no returning All-Americans, which is good for us. Like I'd much rather be in a spot where like everyone's like thinking you're gonna suck, and then you just come out and blow them out of the water, and then they just don't think you're gonna be anything. But then being like a top dog and kind of falling down.
Yeah.
So.
Well, and look, I think one of the things, and I'm sure this played into why you wanted to play here as well, but the overall program. I mean, look, we're not even just talking about men's volleyball. We're men's and women's the volleyball programs on campus are some of the best at BYU. We're talking success at the highest level. What does it mean to you to be a part of a program like this?
Oh, it means a lot to me because I say I went somewhere else. Like it's just nothing like that. Like I'd be in other places like just in my own time, like outside of school, outside of volleyball, and people recognize me and they talk to me and it's super nice because I don't think that would happen anywhere else. And like knowing the support we have from all these people, like we have some super fans, you call them, and like they're the greatest people I've ever met. Like they love us so much and they do a lot of things for us and it's fantastic.
Can you put into words what a match is like at the Smith Fieldhouse for people who haven't experienced it?
I don't know, honestly. It's really hard. You could say it's really fun. It's really loud. Like, I mean, I've never heard of anyone that came to one of our games like, yeah, I don't want to ever go again. It's never happened. Like some of my friends don't even like volleyball. They come to our games and they're like, dude, I didn't know that volleyball was that fun to watch. And I'm like, yeah, I told you. Like, it's not going to be like, I'm not going to have you come and spend $10, whatever it is, to get in, and like want to go home and like cry and never go back ever again. Like, this would be a blast if you go. So,
I want to ask you about your superstitions because you were a guest on BYU Sports Nation and you talked about certain superstitions that you have on a game day. Yeah. So why don't you let people know what superstitions you have?
I mean, it all starts right before the game, pretty much. My morning, it's nothing in particular. Like I just wake up, do whatever I need to do, and then I go. And then after our practice, we normally have 2 to 3. We'll have our team meal, and then after our team meal, this is when my routine starts. I have to go to Taco Bell. I get my same order. I get my cheesy gordita crunch with my beefy 5 burrito, no sour cream, and I get the same order every time. Like I can't change it up. And then I go to the hot tub for like 15 minutes, then take a cold shower for like 5, and then I had to make sure my socks are inside out. They're not right now. But
I was going to say, socks are inside out. Okay, now what is the reason for that?
I think it all started like my sophomore year, like junior year. I was in a little funk in high school, and I was just like, I need to try something else. So I got Taco Bell, and I played really good. And I was like, whoa, this is insane. So like I think Taco Bell made me better. And then I think as I went on, like I think I just added to it. I think one day I just added my socks inside out, and I played better. And I was like, oh, okay. So I think I just stuck with it.
So anything beyond the socks after that? Is there anything else before the game?
Nothing's added. Sometimes I listen to every time every game I listen to rock music. I don't say pretty heavy rock music, but I listen to some of the same songs, and I don't know, it gets me going.
One of the things that I wanted to ask you about, and this is something. Right when the announcement was made, we actually had Coach Sean Olmstead on BYU Sports Nation. I actually asked him this, but so much of what's going on around BYU at this time is the excitement of going to the Big 12.
Yeah.
Big 12 does not have men's volleyball, so the men's volleyball program here at BYU is going to stay in the MPSF. You guys feel left out?
No.
Not being able to go to the Big 12? Does that take away some of the excitement of that for the school, for you guys?
Not really, because, I mean, you look at our conference, and I'd argue to say it's the most competitive conference we have in the NCAA. Like, I mean, there's UCLA, who's the champions of last year, who's GCU, who's a great program, USC, Stanford, Concordia, us, I feel like I'm missing one, Pepperdine. Like, they're all, like, always top programs, like, always, every year. So, like, I mean, I couldn't care less than, honestly, to be in the Big 12. Like, it's whatever. I mean, surely you get, like, more stuff, whatever, like, bigger name, but, I mean, doesn't really affect me or my teammates, honestly.
How good's this team going to be this upcoming season?
I mean, I think we're going to be pretty dang good. I mean, like, we lost Heath and Mitch, the great big part of our team last year, but, I mean, we have younger guys that could fill the roles pretty great. I mean, Noah, who stepped up last year when Heath was hurt. Then we have, like, Jackson and Bernardo as our liberos now. They could battle out. They're both very, very talented. So, I mean, I don't know. I think we're going to be a pretty dang good team this year.
Well, Trent, I appreciate you taking a few minutes. It's been a lot of fun to get to know you a little bit better and hear about your story. Thank you for doing this. I appreciate it.
Of course.
All right. Thanks once again to my guest, Trent Moser. My name is Jason Shepard. Josh Bergstrom and Ben Hall produced this episode. Deep Blue's senior producer is Cleon Wall. You can download and subscribe to Deep Blue on all podcast platforms or find all episodes on the BYU Radio app. Deep Blue is a production of BYU Radio.